Hello, welcome to Tedi Unscripted, a very spotted one. I haven't been able to do a Tedi Unscripted in about 2 weeks. Oh, no, yes, maybe, possibly. I don't know if I should keep talking. Okay, I'm like, Val, you can't oop me and then not tell me. There was a box? I don't know what's happening. Oh, there's a box. We've redone our systems a little bit, meaning I got into them and I arranged all of our systems, meaning that no one knows where anything is but me because I have a psychotic way of organizing everything. Isn't that fun? But I haven't been able to do a Tedi Unscripted in like 2 weeks or so. We've just been so busy here and it is amazing. I am so thankful that we are as busy as we are and that we have such amazing guests and amazing clients that keep me busy, that are continually giving us projects to do for them to help them grow. But I did want to come back for at least one show and say that this is still going. We are still doing Tedi Unscripted. Is still exciting. If you wonder why there's a wide shot, Val will be joining us at some point. But she's also trying to figure out the systems that I messed with. But I'm very excited. I am going to be going on vacation for 2 more weeks. So I'm about to go on a road trip to Colorado. So hopefully at some point you guys will actually get remote shows where I'll be in other states doing shows for the next 2 weeks. If not, I'm going to be playing our reruns.
Hello.
But the first rerun, hello. The first rerun I definitely want to do, or at least want to encourage you guys to watch again, was the show we did on September 18th with Whiskey Diet Denim. It was an amazing show, and they have since sent us clothes. And if you go on Tedi Unscripted on YouTube, we actually have an unboxing there. A very slightly embarrassing video because I've never done something pre-recorded like that. But I did an unboxing.
Can I say how I love how I'm just like
how you're just a
in.
ghost? Yeah. Well, it's really weird the angle I'm at because I have to look this way for the camera, but you're next to me, so just out of the corner of my eye, I see like this small thing moving. I'm
thanks.
like, yeah.
Thanks.
You're welcome. I was sitting in Dawn's seat and I forget that she sits on a pillow, and I was like very tall for a minute. And I was like,
I was gonna say, give me the
right.
pillow because
Hey,
I'm short as hell.
And Freddie's flat broken seat. I'm pretty sure that is the broken one. But yeah, I will. And she leaves. She's gone. Goodbye. But Valerie, are you okay? You know, it's a weird Friday. We have a Fem City event. I haven't slept in like 4 weeks. I'm about to go on a 2-week road trip where I most likely will not be sleeping again. I ended up going to Tin Roof last night and leaving promptly after because no one wore their mask and I was so uncomfortable.
Yeah, no.
I didn't know what to do.
That's not good.
I just had one of those moments where I just kind of like froze and it took me a minute to kind of process what just happened, and I was like, why is no one wearing a mask when they're leaving their table and going like to the bar? I don't have to throw a Tin Roof under the bus, but like,
yeah,
maybe deserve to be thrown under the bus. I will say though, the servers and the bartenders were all very good at wearing masks, and most of them were wearing gloves, and they were very good at keeping everything very sterile.
that's good.
So I have to give very like huge props to the staff there. I wish they enforced the mask rule, but I understand that Tin Roof is one of those like people just stand up sometimes and don't have tables. And I understand that we're going to another phase where people don't have to be at a table anymore.
Right.
Because DeSantis is, well, we'll keep politics off this show.
But yeah, people should still continue wearing their masks.
You should still continue wearing masks. You should still continue to social distance, even if you don't like it.
Yeah, Zach went, not to throw him under the bus, but he went bowling last Friday, and the mess, I asked, because I didn't go there the whole time because I was seeing my friend.
Yeah.
And I went there for like the last 20 minutes that they were there, and his mask wasn't fully up, and I got mad at him. I said, why isn't your mask fully up? He goes, oh, we just have to have it on. It doesn't have to fully be covering. I said, then what's the point?
Yeah, I hate that.
I got mad at him, and I looked around, and like the lanes were...
This isn't having your mask on.
No, people had it like that. They had it like
having
that.
Your mask on.
And
this isn't having your mask on.
I was mad at him like basically all night because I was like, he lives with his grandma. So I was like, you need to And he goes, I know. I was just like, and I guess he was at a table drinking when he had his mask lowered. He was like, when I was away from the table, I had it fully on. He's like, I'm not playing those games. I was like, okay.
I realized recently that people have this thing where they're like, oh well, they don't think anything bad's gonna happen to them, and that's always been the thing.
Right.
You know, I was a kid, we were taught about texting and driving and drunk driving. You always think it's not gonna happen to you, and then it can.
And then until it does.
But like, I caught myself having that thought when I was at Tin Roof of being like, well, everyone's here, not everyone can get sick. I'm still alive, nothing's happened to me yet, and I really had to sit back and be like, a virus doesn't care about your luck.
Right.
A virus doesn't care who you are. It will go after everyone and anyone that it can. That's
right.
the point.
I had that same mentality at the very beginning of this. Mm-hmm. Like in March when we were still working and they came and took our measuring tapes around in our beauty belts because where I work we have these beauty belts to carry everything and then we have tape measures to measure people. And the manager came up to us and because it was so dead, because this is at the very beginning when people were slowly like not going anywhere, there were just like 3 of us standing together talking, and the manager came up and was like, give me your beauty belts, give me your tape measures. We're no longer doing fittings and we're no longer wearing beauty belts. Mm-hmm. And we were like, why? It's like, because it can be.
But are they your personal ones, or do you get them when you go into the store?
So
because I thought you had personal ones.
The way it was before is, you just wore it for the day. They all sat in a spot, and you grabbed it at the beginning of the shift, and you put it back at the end of your shift.
I did not know that.
But for my personal purposes, I keep my tape measure and I keep my earpiece. Yeah. Because for sanitary purposes and just for the sheer fact that half the time the earpieces don't work or like stay in your ear, I was like, oh, I've got one that stays in my ear because I have extremely small ears and nothing fits. So I was like, oh, I found a tape measure that I like because there's some thin ones and some thick ones. And I found an earpiece I like. I'm holding on to this.
So you just hide them?
Oh, they're in my bag. I take them with me quite literally everywhere. They're like my wallet because.
That's hilarious.
I know. But, yeah.
When I worked at a certain beauty supply store, we had kind of the same thing. We just called them our pouches, but it's like beauty belt thing, and it's where you kept your brushes. And your brushes, it sucked because your brushes, which are the expensive part, were your personal brushes. So that you're using on other people. So I worked there, and if you were like, hey, can you match me with the foundation, or can you show me how this would look on me? Because that is the thing that we would do demonstrations on people. You had to use your personal brushes that you put in the belt that you didn't get to keep, and you had to use your own personal brush sanitizer and cleaner.
So I was
nothing was provided except for the cheap belts that you weren't allowed to keep.
So you could keep the brushes but not the belt.
Well, you bought the brushes.
Oh
yeah, it wasn't like the store was like, here you go, here's your set of brushes. Like, I had to go buy brushes with my own money, and most of the time we didn't buy them from the store because we needed cheap ones. So we would go buy brushes, put them in the beauty belt that the store provided, and at the end of every day you were supposed to take your brushes out and give them back the belt. And this was obviously pre-COVID. I haven't worked there for years, but it was so annoying. Okay. And then you had to use, when you were cleaning and sanitizing your brushes, sometimes you can get away with using what was on the floor, but most of the time you had to have your own cleaner, your own sanitizer. So I'm spending my own money to buy them.
I'm unplugging this because I'm afraid I'm gonna rip it out.
I appreciate you not breaking my computer.
They gave us our tape measures. We do not have to buy them. But I mean, that's not okay.
When I worked at a certain coffee shop that has iconic aprons, they gave you, it was really easy to get those aprons. They gave you 2 when you started working there, and then for Christmas, for the other color ones, you would like literally have to fight over them because usually the store only got a certain number, and they're like coveted. Like, I literally had to bribe my manager to give me one. It was really bad. Yeah, no, I like actually spent money to bribe her so I could have one because we only got 4, and there were like 10 of us who wanted one. But those ones, you get your own
special aprons.
It's a thing. You get this different colored one because different colored aprons mean different things. So like, it was a whole thing. It was a whole culture.
I guess another one of those things I'll never understand.
And one of the things that you don't want to or need to. Honestly, I wish I didn't because it was so ridiculous.
Right.
But we used to, if you forgot yours, people, you could take it home. It was your personal one. But if one of yours got stained or you just like forgot it, or like the same thing, some of them were thinner and softer, some of them were like stiffer and thicker and grosser. People would hang theirs on the hooks because some people got them embroidered. My manager didn't actually like me very much, so I didn't get mine embroidered. But a lot of people did. And they'd hang them on the hooks, and you would just have to search through to find one that wasn't embroidered with someone's name, and you just steal it. I must have 50. I have so many because I always used to steal people's.
That's funny.
And no one found out.
Well, until now. Cat's out of the bag.
Oh, Cat's been out of the bag. I won't go into incriminating myself too much, but no, I never stole. Have you ever? I found out recently, I will put it this way, that someone I knew they had gotten fired from a job. I didn't realize it was because they were stealing money.
Oh, don't even.
And let me like uncriminate, not me, not one of my family members. It was a friend that I like know from college. But it's just one of those things that I was like, wow, people really do that.
Oh, no, 100%. And working in the retail world, I have heard of this all too many times. Coworkers, not personal friends, but coworkers who have been, and so like, I don't know how it is from your previous jobs, but with mine, it's when someone doesn't show up for a while, you just always assume they quit or something else happened. You don't ever know the full story.
Oh, no, we gossip.
Oh, yeah, later on we do. The managers do. Like, we find out the full details later on. But we never find out, like, in the now.
Yeah.
So I actually found out about a manager who went on vacation, and then I saw her, I think, once, and then I haven't seen her for, like, a month. So I asked one of the other managers, I was like, so did so-and-so quit? And she's like, oh, it was basically, yes, she quit in coding. But it was like, oh, it was this other so-and-so's case. Basically, they were taking samples and were, like, playing dumb, like, oh, I didn't know that these weren't just, like, for us to keep. Like, we would have testers. Like, so, like, the mini mist or lip balm or whatever, we would have testers out for people to test. And
I think with, like, the sampler bras, I was like, who thinks that's just for someone to keep?
I mean,
who thinks that, you know, a sample
a sample of a little spray would be okay to keep? So apparently it was something like that, and I was like, oh. And she'd been with the company forever, for a few years now, because she moved from another state.
Either she just built up her confidence, or she's been doing it for years, and she just got caught.
Right. And I'm like, wow. Okay. But, like, it just, every time I hear a story like that, there was a case where last holiday season, we had this girl, and she was always on the register.
Yeah.
And apparently register's really short. Couldn't figure out why. They finally figured out
like
that...
short of money.
Yeah, short of money.
That took me a minute. I was like, why is it short?
So then, same thing, this other girl, they finally built a case on her, and she quit. She went on her break. She went to take a 15-minute break and called the store and was like, oh, yeah, I'm not coming back. I'm leaving. That's a second person. They do that. People do that. They go on their break and they're like, oh, I'm not coming back.
The audacity. I wish.
I'm not coming
genuinely,
back.
When I used to work at that coffee shop, we would, and it was common because I've talked about this on the show before. You get screamed at, you get yelled at. I've had hot coffee poured on me. People are just the rudest of the rude.
Hot coffee.
Yeah, I had hot coffee thrown in my.
God.
Thankfully, I think they were aiming for my face. They just kind of hit my apron, so it wasn't so bad. I have a scar on my ankle from someone throwing hot coffee on me, and they missed, and it got on my ankle, and it was really hot because they wanted it extra hot, 180 degrees. I can tell this is only 178 degrees. 180 degrees. Our machines don't go that high, by the way. Just putting that out there.
Out of curiosity, how high do they go?
180, you have to manually put it there, and your milk will start. Like, the machine will stop at 160.
Okay.
And if you can manually push it as high as you want, but milk explodes at some point. I don't know if that's like a well-known thing, but if milk gets too hot and you're steaming
I had no idea.
Yeah, it'll literally explode.
That's crazy.
And people want it to explode on you because they're sadists. I don't know. People are psychotic.
I don't understand people.
But I forgot where I was going with that. But I hate people and they're really mean and rude.
Honestly. So Dawn talks about this on the cafe a lot, how like I'm such like a happy, smiley person, which I am. I've gone to a drive-thru and I've been like, okay, thanks, like just my normal way. And I pulled up to the window and someone was like, "Are you naturally like that?" I was like,
and you're like, unfortunately.
But, so I've been in retail about 6 years now, different stores. And I have felt myself slightly get less happy.
Get more callous.
Like when I'm at work, if that makes sense. Like I used to be all this peppy cheery at work too. And like, I want to say my second year in my first job, I was like, nope, can't do it anymore.
I was exactly the opposite where this is me very naturally. I'm not super duper high energy. Sometimes I am, but most of the time I don't think I'm like super high energy most of the time unless I'm like angry.
You're pretty like mellow, like the way you are now, I would say.
I'm not slick level. No one's slick level. No. But I'm not super happy. I'm not super high energy. I'm usually just very until mellow. I actually get angry or really excited about something, I'm kind of just melancholy.
I will say that like this morning you came in a little like bouncy. I was like, oh my God, I love this Teddy.
I was trying to wake up. I was trying to wake up, Valerie.
You did that yesterday too.
Yesterday I had an energy drink. This morning I was just trying to wake up.
And like she comes in and like she'll do a couple bounces like on her feet, and I'm like, oh, this is a good
happy Teddy today.
Happy Teddy.
Doesn't want to
side I never get to see, by the way.
It's rare. It's coming out recently. Oh yeah. People are learning what they need to do.
I enjoy seeing this happy bouncy Teddy.
But when I worked in retail, I think I've been working retail probably about the same time since I was like 16. I started. And
16.
Yeah, when I was 16, I had my first job at a candy store.
Oh.
16. Yeah, 16. I turned 17 while I was there. And I had my first job at a candy store, and I was selling candy bras and edible chocolate markers to old people.
Interesting. Didn't know that was a
drunk
thing.
people. Drunk people coming in, and I worked at a candy shop that was near a bar. It was very weird.
Interesting.
And I just had my last customer service job. I quit right at the beginning of the pandemic. And I haven't gotten another one since then. But since then, I've like pretty consistently had customer service jobs. And, oh God, that means it's almost in 10 years. I'm 25. That's terrifying. I don't like that. But I realized when I'm at these customer service jobs, I'm very happy. I'm like, hi, what can I do for you? Yes, of course. Let me get that for you.
You see those memes?
I get very high and happy.
Your customer service voice.
Oh, my customer service voice is terrifying.
Memes. Yeah.
I've been told that I sound like a little kid. I've been told that I sound like a doll. I got told I sound like a robot. When I used to go on drive-thru, I used to get told consistently that I sounded like a robot or like an avatar.
Oh, I get yelled at all the time that it sounds like I'm yelling, and I'm like, I'm not. I'm a mix of Italian and Cuban. Tell me what other Italian and Cuban do you know that is not just loud all the time?
Loud.
Like I don't know how to control it. I'm sorry. In advance, and like obviously these masks don't help.
Yeah, you have to scream.
My manager like constantly says the same one manager is like, you're yelling, and then she goes like this. I'm like,
I hate that. I hate people tell like if it's an actual situation where like I know I've done it to you once or twice when there's like a show, and I've had it done to me too, and there's a show and you get excited and you start talking, they can hear you.
Yeah, that's different.
But like my mom does this. We'll be out in a store and I'll get excited and I'll talk loud and she's like, shh. Like,
Zach does it
in kindergarten.
Zach does it to me.
He's
like,
that.
why are you yelling? I'm like, I'm just like this.
Yeah.
Deal with it.
Like if it's not a situation where I have to be quiet, like a show or a library or a hospital or something, like why can't I be loud in Publix?
Right.
Who's gonna say something? I feel like a grandma. I just want to point that out. My grandmother's probably watching. I feel like a grandma. I'm like huddled up in my shawl. It's really cold in the studio, and the air conditioning vent is right there.
So notice how I was wearing my jacket. Now I'm not because I got warm. And I was
because the air vent is right at this seat.
Oh,
and you're right.
Maybe that's why whenever I sit there, I freeze.
I was gonna say that's why I sit there when we work because the air vent misses it. But. Yeah, I just get all happy when I do customer service, and I think it's just from so many years of doing it and ignoring people being so mean to you and having to smile through someone screaming at you.
Oh,
you're just like, okay.
So this is my first clothing retail job. My first two ones were office supplies.
I haven't done either of those.
And so first like 2 years, I was like in just register, and then I moved on to the copy center because both had a copy print center. Let me tell you how people complain about the prices of ink, the prices of printer, the prices of paper. I can't control any of that. I'm sorry. And then also the coloring and the way something prints out. They'll sit there and yell at me, and I'm like,
I wanted lobster red. This is actually a slightly off love heart red.
Oh my God.
I want a tulip pink and this is soft pink.
It still just amazes me at how people are so nitpicky. And then I moved on to clothing and how people complain about a specific panty or a specific bra. And I'm like,
Yep.
why do you let that affect you? Like, it's a freaking panty.
Can I tell you, I worked at a bar, and it was the most recent bar I worked at, and it was a beer bar. So, I didn't have to mix drinks or anything. I literally was just explaining beers and meads to people and then giving it to them.
Right.
It was so easy. And I would ask people, because I'd be like, I don't know what I want to drink. I don't know any of these beers. Give me something new. And I'd be like, okay, well, do you like IPAs? Yeah. I'm like, okay, do you like something really hoppy? Yeah, I love hoppy. I'm like, okay, well, this is super hoppy. It's an IPA. It's, and I would like explain it to them, the flavor profile, whatever. And they'd be like, oh my God, that sounds amazing. I love IPAs. I love hoppy. I love grapefruit. And then they would try it. They would, drink out of the can. This is pre-COVID. Drink out of the can. I didn't like this, and I don't like that you recommended this to me when I told you that I don't like IPAs, I don't like anything hoppy, and I don't like anything sweet. I'm like,
didn't you just say that you like
what?
Those things?
And then they're trying to return the beer. I'm like, you want to return a beer that you just opened and drank from to a bar? Is there any bar that lets you return? Mia's here. Mia, you worked as a bartender. Do bars let you return drinks? Really? Can you wait, unmute Mike too, talking to that, because I want to hear this.
At my bar specifically, yes, because this area has a lot of older people who complain
true.
about everything, and basically you could eat an entire meal at my job and then say you didn't like it, and we're gonna comp it for you, and it's really annoying.
That
hate
sounds super annoying.
I worked at a restaurant that I was a hostess there, thankfully, so I didn't have to deal with a lot of it, but I had tables right behind me and I could hear them, and we had a lady who did exactly that. She ate her entire, I'll never forget this, she had a full plate of the most expensive chicken wings we had. It was like house-made, Maker's Mark, barbecue sauce. They were delicious. It was my favorite thing. It was one of the most expensive things we had there. And she ate the entire thing, sucked the bones dry, and then came up to me, a hostess. I was not her server. I'm not a server. I was a hostess at the time. And she goes, I didn't like this and I need a refund. And I was like, what? And she's like, I need you to give me a refund right now. I hated this. And I was like, well, one, I can't, because I'm a hostess and I have literally zero power. But two,
you ate the
you
entire
already
plate.
ate it. And that's, long story short, through 10 minutes, I finally got the manager. And he's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry you didn't like it. Here's a $40 gift card. And I was like, that meal was only like $25. And she ate the whole thing. Why did you just give her a $40 gift card?
The worst thing about that, too, is it's like you're keeping these people coming back, which is, I guess, why they do it. Like, here's a gift card.
But they're not spending any money.
Yeah,
right.
It's like, great, I want this person to come back and do this again next time.
Yeah, you can just pay for one. You don't even have to pay for a meal. You get continuous meals for free. And then you just make us look bad, because if you're the server, or any retail job, I've had it when I was a cashier, I've had it everywhere. You tell them, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this. They demand to see the manager, and the manager's like, oh my God, of course, I can do it.
That drives
for
me
you.
up
You look
a
like an
wall.
A and can't say the word, but you look like an a-hole.
Yeah.
You look like a jerk.
That's happened to me so many times.
I can't stand that so much.
And then the manager just doesn't care, and then you get a terrible review written about you. When I worked at the makeup store, you would get your gratis, which is like free makeup products, based on your reviews. So if people wrote a review about you, you would get a free makeup product, and some of them are really expensive.
Oh,
and they
wait,
were
you
really
only got
nice.
the gratis if you had a good review?
There were other ways to get it, but that was
Okay.
one of the ways to get it.
We just got gratis so that way that we would be, like, they can't...
No.
We would be able to wear the stuff because...
No, yeah,
It's
we
not
didn't
cheap.
get that.
It's not cheap,
We had a
so-
discount to buy things, but there was no like, hey, there's a new release, here's gratis so you can wear it. It was a like, you had to, I'm sure other stores do, but my manager was a not very giving person. And yeah, we didn't get that. You had to do something for the store.
That's just...
But you would get a terrible review written about you, which means that you got one less gratis that week, because if you got a bad review, you got it taken away. And they would write a great review on the
Sounds
manager.
like
and the
elementary
manager would
school.
get a gratis. And I was like, this is BS.
Can I tell you how that sounds like Treasure Box in elementary school, like kindergarten?
we used to do Treasure Box in my dentist's office. And it's really awkward because my sister is a dental hygienist. So like and she for a while worked in pediatric, but she's my sister. So I would go to her, and I was like an 18, 20, 22, whatever year old going to a pediatric dentist because I was like, my sister's going to clean my teeth for free. Like, it's like a friends and family thing. I don't want to have to pay for this.
Right.
And the dentist knew me, obviously. And at the end of, like, if I had to get a cavity filled or if I had to do something, she'd be like, okay, do you want to go to the treasure box? And I was like, no, I'm 20. I don't. So with that, but thank you guys for coming on, and thank you guys for listening. I know today was a bit of an off one. Hopefully I'm going to be able to do those remote shows while I'm away.
Would love to see that, by the way.
I'm very excited to see if I can get internet up there in the Rockies. I think on next week I'll be in the Rocky Mountains, so hopefully
Sounds fun.
I should. If not, you'll be seeing me in the car because we had to get a car with Wi-Fi to make sure I can AnyDesk in whenever I needed to. So most likely I'll be in my car next week, or you'll be seeing a rerun of Whiskey Diadenim, which I just want to thank again so much for everything, and I want to spotlight them a little bit. Make sure to go to Tedi Unscripted on YouTube. I'm also going to be posting it on the Tedi Unscripted Facebook page. See unboxing of all the cool stuff that they gave us so we can start wearing it on the shows. And thank you guys for coming on, and I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you for chilling with us today. It was a very chill, calm talk, and we'll see you guys next time I get to come in.